In this episode, we're going to be talking about color space transform, also known as CST nodes, and how they impact our color management. Open a new project in DaVinci and click on this settings gear in the bottom right corner to make sure that you have the right settings. Color management tab, I have DaVinci YRGB, timeline color space, DaVinci wide gamut intermediate, and output color space, Rec 709-A. Rec 709-A because I'm using a Mac. If you're using a PC, just click on Rec 709 Gamma 2.4. That change is really important because you want your output color space to match the screen that you're using to color grade. We want our final render to look exactly how it does in our timeline. If you want a full walkthrough of the settings that I use in DaVinci Resolve, I posted a video on that recently, and I'll share the link to that in the video description. Once we have our settings correct, click on the color page tab, and let's look at the footage. So right here, we only have one node. So what I'm gonna do is Option S a couple times, or Alt S if you're on a PC, but Option S will add serial nodes, and you're creating a basic node tree here. Now a node tree, if you're new to DaVinci Resolve, don't be intimidated by this. A lot of people like to think of it like a river. The changes you make at any given point will affect everything downstream. So, moving left to right, the changes that we make to node 1 will affect every node that follows it. The changes that we make to node 3 will only affect node 3, 4, and 5. This is some test footage that I shot on my Sony FX3. And as you can see, the image looks really flat. That's because it was shot in a log profile. What we need to do is eventually convert it to Rec 709, and that's what we're going to use in our final export. Color space transform nodes are how we make that conversion. We're going to go over to the effects here. If you don't see that, just click on this effects tab and click on color space transform. We're going to drag that over to our first node. And we're going to come over here to the library and also drag that to our last node. On the first node, right click, change the node label to CST In. And that first box, since I shot on Sony, I'm going to scroll down here to Sony sgamut3.cine. And input gamma, I'm going to scroll down to Sony again and choose slog3. That's because those are the settings that I used when I shot the footage initially. Then we're going to convert the output color space to DaVinci wide gamut and output gamma to DaVinci intermediate. This will give us the most flexibility when we're working with our color grade. Now click on the last node, right click, type in CST out. Because we converted the last node to DaVinci wide gamut, our input color space is going to be DaVinci wide gamut, and our input gamma is DaVinci intermediate. For the output color space, we're going to scroll down to Rec 709 and choose Gamma 2.4. Since we want to create a look that matches across a variety of screens and devices, we're going to select Gamma 2.4. Some people find that Gamma 2.2 works better with the compression profiles and socials, but personally I've always used Gamma 2.4 and it's never given me any issues. Now that we have our CSTs set up, we have effectively converted our footage from log to Rec 709 2.4. All of the changes we now add between our CSTs will show us exactly how the footage will look in our final export. It's important that we set up our CSTs and settings correctly so that we don't have any gamma shifts in our final render. Now, in the Export tab under Advanced Settings, we can leave our color space tag and gamma tag to same as project. Since we use CSTs, it will use Rec 709 and Gamma 2.4 as we set it up on our CST out node. I really like this method for color management because if I'm ever working with footage shot on another camera or I'm working with footage that was shot in different settings, the only thing I need to do is come back to our color page, select the CST In node, and change these first two boxes to match whatever camera was used to shoot. That's the only changes I need to make. I know the footage will convert correctly and the final render will match what I'm seeing in my timeline. As you can see, now that we've converted it to Rec 709, the image doesn't look as flat and it looks more similar to probably what you saw on the screen while shooting it. Now that we have it converted to Rec 709, we can begin our color grade. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel for more tips and comment what you'd like to see discussed in future videos. Thanks again and happy editing.